Welcome back. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of Australian 50-cent coins, a world where size meets story, and where a simple piece of change could be worth a hefty sum on the collector's market. These 12-sided beauties have celebrated everything from historic milestones to royal jubilees, and in the right year and condition, they've brought in hundreds, even thousands of dollars at auction. So get ready to explore the top 5 most valuable Australian 50-cent coins, featuring rare years, mintage secrets, standout conditions, and real-world market values. Let's get started. First up, the 1978 Australian 50-cent coin, a forgotten circulating treasure that could be worth a fortune in today's thrilling collector market. The 1978 Australian 50-cent coin, though appearing ordinary to the untrained eye, carries with it the weight of a nation's heritage, royal continuity, and economic history. In black circulated condition, this coin takes on an even more enigmatic aura, its worn, oxidized tone adding character, mystery, and often hidden value that collectors are only now beginning to recognize. This is the kind of coin that quietly lies forgotten in old drawers, shoe boxes, or dusty coin jars, waiting for the right moment to shine. Today, we unearth everything you need to know about the 1978 50-cent piece, a coin that could, under the right circumstances, make you a millionaire. Let's begin with the design, both iconic and noble, with the reverse featuring the intricate Australian coat of arms. Dominating the coin's center is the kangaroo and emu, standing proud on either side of the shield. Above the crest lies the 7-pointed Commonwealth star, and below it sits the ornate scroll. The kangaroo, symbol of strength, energy, and progress, balances perfectly with the emu, a bird known for its determination and grounded nature. Together, they represent a forward-moving nation, as neither animal can walk backward. Even in circulated condition, the artistry of this emblem remains strong, and the darkened black patina from age or oxidation often enhances the relief, giving the design a striking depth and antique appeal. The obverse of the 1978 coin presents a majestic portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, facing right, designed by the legendary Arnold Machin. This effigy shows the Queen adorned with the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, her gaze resolute and elegant. The inscriptions Elizabeth II and Australia in 1978 wrap the portrait in a circle of national pride. In blackened, circulated condition, the Queen's profile can sometimes appear ghost-like, faded into history. Yet this only adds to the mystique, creating a coin that feels like it has lived through the very heartbeat of Australia's late 20th century history. In terms of technical specifications, the 1978 50-cent coin continues the post-1969 standard that collectors value for its size and substance. Struck in a copper-nickel alloy, 75% copper, 25% nickel, the coin weighs 15.55 grams and boasts a diameter of 31.65 millimeters with a distinctive 12-sided dodecagon shape. This isn't a flimsy piece of change. It's a robust, weighty coin that fits confidently in your hand and commands presence in any collection. Its large surface area allowed for stunning detail, and even when worn, that detail tells a powerful story. The circulated black condition of some 1978 coins is often the result of age, exposure to air and moisture, or even underground storage. Though not intentional, this coloration can sometimes make the coin more visually dramatic and appealing to collectors of aged or black beauty coins. While heavily worn examples might lose value, blackened coins with even wear and full design clarity can become conversation pieces, especially among thematic collectors or those fascinated with coin oxidation patterns and age toning. Now, let's talk numbers. The mintage of the 1978 50-cent coin was 25.6 million, meaning it was widely circulated, but not nearly as hoarded as later commemorative releases. This was a time when few Australians thought of everyday coins as collectible, which makes high-grade survivors harder to come by today. Even more rare are uncirculated examples or error varieties, such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or double rim impressions, each capable of commanding huge premiums in the current marketplace. The current market value for a 1978 50-cent coin in black circulated condition typically ranges between $1.50 and $5 Australian, depending on wear, toning, and eye appeal. However, if the coin shows sharp detail despite its dark coloration, or features an error or variety, values can climb into the $50 to $150 AUD range. In extremely fine or uncirculated condition, especially when slabbed by grading giants like PCGS or NGC, prices can jump from $200 to over $700 AUD. Rare errors or proof strikes, especially those with historical provenance, have reached over $1,000 Australian at elite auctions. What makes this coin a millionaire sleeper pick isn't just the 1978 date or the mintage. It's the growing wave of modern numismatics that values historical resonance, natural aging, and untold stories behind simple circulation coins. The rise of digital marketplaces, grading technologies, and social coin communities means that coins like this are being reevaluated under a new lens, and demand is outpacing supply for dramatic, unique, and vintage-looking coins. In the near future, a small hoard of blackened 1978 coins with aesthetic toning or verified minting errors could become a seven-figure collector's dream. The 1978 Australian 50-cent coin, even in black circulated condition, is far more than a relic of spare change. It is a historical ambassador, a piece of economic nostalgia, and possibly, with the right eye and timing, a hidden fortune. As Australia's coin collecting culture continues to boom and expand globally, coins like this are getting snapped up by savvy investors and nostalgic hobbyists alike. So, if you're lucky enough to own one, hold it with pride, research its every detail, and don't be surprised if someday someone offers you a life-changing price for what once seemed like a forgotten piece of pocket change. Next up, the 1979 Australian 50-cent coin, a circulated masterpiece with untapped potential to turn pocket change into a collector's gold mine. The 1979 Australian 50-cent coin, with its bold, unmistakable 12-sided shape and national symbolism, this piece has stood the test of time, quietly passing from hand to hand for decades. But now, as collectors and investors worldwide turn their gaze to the often overlooked coins of the late 20th century, the 1979 edition is finally starting to command the spotlight. In circulated condition with a natural patina, this coin tells the gritty story of Australia's economic resilience, royal tradition, and design excellence. More importantly, it could be hiding extraordinary value, the kind that could one day make you a millionaire. Let's begin with the design and symbolism. The reverse side of the 1979 50-cent coin features the proud and dignified Australian coat of arms, a powerful emblem of the Commonwealth. Centered is a detailed shield displaying 6 sections, each representing a state of the Federation, from the Lion of New South Wales to the Piping Shrike of South Australia. On either side of the shield stand 2 national icons, the kangaroo and the emu, chosen not only for their connection to the outback, but for their symbolic trait of being unable to move backward. Together, they symbolize a nation that is always moving forward, evolving, and forging a new path with every generation. The obverse, as with other coins from this period, features the classic regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II facing right, sculpted by Arnold Machin. With the Queen's elegant tiara and gentle expression, the coin evokes a deep connection to Australia's Commonwealth identity and enduring monarchy. Even in circulated condition, this portrait remains iconic, and with the passage of time, any subtle wear or dark toning only adds to the coin's antique charm, giving it a more historical, almost vintage appearance that collectors deeply appreciate. When it comes to specifications, the 1979 50-cent coin retains the striking features that have made it a collector's favorite. Composed of copper nickel, 75% copper and 25% nickel, the coin weighs in at a robust 15.55 grams, and its wide 31.65 millimeters diameter makes it one of the largest standard circulating coins in the world. The unique dodecagon, 12-sided, shape doesn't just make it stand out in appearance. It also helps prevent confusion with other round coins and gives the coin a premium, metal-like feel in the hand. This shape, combined with its size and alloy, gives the 50-cent coin a commanding presence, whether in a collector's album or held in one's palm. Now, let's uncover the numismatic value and potential fortune hidden in this historical issue. While the 1979 coin had a relatively high mintage of 22.6 million, most of these coins were used extensively in everyday transactions. As a result, uncirculated examples are now rare, and coins with full luster and strong strike quality are becoming highly sought after. The circulated versions, especially those with interesting toning or unique wear patterns, are gaining popularity among collectors looking for coins with character. And in the growing niche of collectors who seek coins in natural blackened or aged conditions, these pieces can fetch surprising premiums. In the current market, a standard 1979 50-cent coin in average circulated condition is generally valued between $1 to $4 Australian, primarily based on visual appeal and overall wear. However, coins in better-than-average condition can rise to $10 to $25 Australian, particularly if the details of the coat of arms and the Queen's portrait are well preserved. In extremely fine or uncirculated condition, especially those that have been professionally graded and slabbed, the value skyrockets. These pristine examples can command anywhere from $150 to $400 Australian, and, in some rare auction cases, much more depending on collector demand and market timing. The real treasure, however, lies in the rarer error coins. Any 1979 50-cent coin that exhibits anomalies, like double strikes, off-center minting, clipped planchets, or die cracks, can multiply in value dramatically. Some verified error coins from this series have sold for over $1,000 Australian, especially when backed by grading reports from NGC or PCGS. A particularly sharp strike, paired with a visual anomaly and circulating history, can transform a seemingly common coin into a six-figure collector's prize. And in today's climate, where unique and authenticated collectibles are gaining traction as investment vehicles, these coins have begun surfacing in high-end auctions and private sales. What's even more exciting is the rising global demand for Australian decimal coins from the 1970s and 1980s. As more collectors from Europe, Asia, and the United States discover the rich artistry and historical context of Australia's coinage, coins like the 1979 50-cent piece are becoming internationally desirable. The growing presence of online coin markets, coin investment influencers, and social media unboxings have introduced this coin to a new generation of collectors, many of whom are willing to pay a premium for coins in unique, aged, or battle-worn condition. To sum it up, the 1979 Australian 50-cent coin isn't just another piece of change. It's a tangible relic of national identity, craftsmanship, and economic heritage. In circulated condition with black or worn patina, it tells a living story of hands past, purchases made, and history felt. And while today it might sit modestly in a jar or old wallet, it holds the very real potential to make you rich, especially if you spot a hidden error, preserve it properly, or catch the market at its peak. For collectors, investors, and dreamers alike, this coin is a silent warrior in the world of numismatic opportunity. Next up, the 1983 Australian 50-cent coin may, at first glance, appear like a common piece of pocket change, just another member of the familiar 12-sided family of copper-nickel coins. But for seasoned collectors and eagle-eyed investors, this unassuming disc holds something far greater: the power of national symbolism, vintage design, and emerging collector demand. Worn by time, bearing the scars of circulation, and often overlooked in favor of flashier commemoratives, the 1983 50-cent coin is now entering the spotlight as a hidden treasure, a potential jackpot in disguise for those lucky enough to hold one in just the right condition or featuring the right error. This could be the coin that one day turns a humble collector into a millionaire. Let us begin with the design and symbolism, which are nothing short of stately and profound. On the reverse of the coin stands the Commonwealth coat of arms, an enduring emblem of Australia's national identity. Engraved by Stuart Devlin, this powerful design features a complex shield segmented into 6 parts, each representing one of Australia's 6 states. This shield is flanked by the mighty kangaroo and emu, 2 uniquely Australian animals known not only for their distinctive presence, but for their symbolic refusal to step backward embodying the nation's ever-forward motion. The coat of arms is surrounded by a wreath and crown, signifying unity under the Commonwealth and strength through diversity. Even in circulated condition, where may smooth some of the finer lines, the raised relief and dodecagonal edge provide this coin with an unmistakable identity that still commands attention. Flipping to the obverse, we're greeted with the dignified portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, facing right and wearing the Queen Mary tiara. Sculpted by Arnold Machin, this regal image speaks to Australia's history within the British Commonwealth and remains a touchstone of its colonial and constitutional heritage. Over decades of circulation, this portrait develops a rich, darkened patina, often resulting in a beautiful black coin aesthetic prized by collectors seeking pieces with age, story, and visual character. The Machin portrait, though replaced in later years, is now seen as a piece of numismatic nostalgia and royal tribute that makes early 1980s coins all the more collectible. From a technical standpoint, the 1983 50-cent coin adheres to the trusted format of post-1969 Australian 50-cent pieces. Struck in copper-nickel alloy, 75% copper, 25% nickel, the coin has a weight of 15.55 grams and a diameter of 31.65 millimeters. Its bold, dodecagonal, 12-sided shape provides easy distinction from other circulating coins, and the wide, flat edges give it a premium feel. The combination of weight, alloy, and design has made the 50-cent coin one of the most aesthetically pleasing and structurally sound coins in Australia's decimal history. This was not just a coin meant to be spent. It was a coin built to last, both in wallets and in the annals of collector prestige. Now, to the part that sparks dreams and fuels curiosity, value, and investment potential. The 1983 50-cent coin was struck in relatively moderate numbers compared to other years, with a total mintage of approximately 49.9 million coins. While that may seem high at first, the reality is that most of these were used in day-to-day circulation, leaving only a very small number in top-tier, uncirculated condition. As such, most 1983 coins that exist today show signs of wear, but that's exactly what makes well-preserved or uniquely toned examples stand out, fetching prices well above face value. In circulated condition, a 1983 50-cent coin generally sells for $1 to $3 Australian dollars, depending on the extent of wear and patina. However, coins that are in extremely fine or almost uncirculated condition, especially those with full detail on the Queen's hair and the kangaroo's fur, can fetch $10 to $40 Australian dollars in collector circles. Mint state examples, MS65 Plus, when professionally graded and sealed, can command prices up to $150 Australian dollars or more, particularly as supplies dwindle and demand grows. But the real excitement comes with error coins, and this is where things get life-changing. A small number of 1983 coins have been discovered with die clashes, cud marks, double strikes, off-center impressions, or planchet cracks. These rarities have sold at auction for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the severity and visibility of the error. In some high-profile cases, error specimens, especially those validated by reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC, have fetched over 2,000 Australian dollars, transforming forgotten finds into headline-worthy collectibles. The global demand for vintage Australian coins is also increasing, particularly among collectors in the United States, UK, and Southeast Asia, who are beginning to explore international decimal coinage. The combination of artistic merit, historic resonance, and the legacy of Queen Elizabeth II adds further appeal. As more collectors search for missing year coins or coins with certain aging traits, even circulated 1983 pieces with distinctive coloring or strike variety can become sleeper investments. The 1983 Australian 50-cent coin is a silent giant in your coin collection, a well-worn traveler with national pride in its design, integrity in its construction, and possibly a fortune in its flaws. Whether you're holding a standard example with rich historical patina or an elusive mint error waiting to be discovered, this coin could one day elevate your humble collection to life-changing wealth. Its story is not just about the past, it's about the future it might unlock for those wise enough to recognize its value. Next up, The 1981 50-cent coin stands as a timeless testament to tradition, strength, and sovereign identity. Yet, for many collectors, it remains vastly underrated. Struck during a decade of evolving design philosophies and strong national sentiment, this coin isn't just a piece of metal. It's a keystone in Australian history, an emblem of Commonwealth pride, and a potential hidden treasure waiting to be rediscovered. With its sharp, bold engravings, rich aged patina from years of circulation, and rising global interest in vintage Commonwealth coinage, the 1981 Australian 50-cent coin in circulated condition could be your unexpected gateway to life-changing fortune, especially if your piece carries unique flaws, rare die variations, or minting errors. Let's start with the reverse design, which radiates a majestic presence that captures the spirit of a united federation. Sculpted by the legendary Stuart Devlin, the reverse features the Commonwealth Coat of Arms of Australia, one of the most intricate and symbolically powerful designs in all of Australian coinage. The shield at the center is divided into 6 sections, each representing a state of the Australian Federation, while above it sits the crown, a mark of Australia's constitutional monarchy. Guarding this national crest are 2 icons of Australia, the kangaroo and the emu, chosen not just for their iconic appearances, but for the fact that neither can move backward, embodying the forward-moving momentum of the nation. Even in circulated condition, this coin exudes character. The raised edges and deep reliefs of the dodecagonal design allow collectors to appreciate its details, even when softened slightly by time and touch. Turning to the obverse, we find the iconic portrait of Queen Elizabeth II facing right, wearing the Queen Mary tiara. Created by Arnold Machin, this regal effigy had been in use since 1966 and by 1981 had become deeply ingrained in Australian numismatic culture. This portrayal reflects not only Australia's allegiance to the British monarchy, but also a moment in time where heritage and history intertwined. Over the years, circulated examples of this coin often develop a distinctive gray or blackened patina, which some collectors find adds a beautiful, aged depth, known among numismatists as the black coin effect. It's these naturally developed characteristics, in conjunction with the coin's condition and rarity, that can dramatically enhance its value. As for technical specifications, the 1981 50-cent coin retains the impressive dodecagonal, 12-sided, structure that distinguishes it from all others in the Australian decimal system. The coin is struck in copper-nickel alloy, 75% copper and 25% nickel, weighing in at 15.55 grams, with a diameter of 31.65 millimeters and a thickness of 2.50 millimeters. Its unique shape and heavy composition make it not just a visual standout, but also a tactile one, perfectly suited for both collectors and historians who value craftsmanship as much as aesthetics. The mintage figure for 1981 was enormous, with over 58.2 million coins struck at the Royal Australian Mint. While this suggests that it is a relatively common coin in circulated condition, the true value lies in specific categories. Coins that are uncirculated, proof versions, or coins containing mint errors, such as double strikes, off-center images, clipped planchets, or die cracks. These rare examples are in high demand today and can transform a 50-cent coin into a $1,000 windfall if authenticated by professional grading agencies like PCGS or NGC. Let's talk dollar value and collector demand. In circulated condition, the 1981 Australian 50-cent coin typically sells for around $1 to $3 Australian dollars, depending on the level of wear. However, examples in very fine to extremely fine condition can fetch between $8 and $20 AUD. Now here's where things get truly exciting. Uncirculated or proof strikes from this year have seen sales as high as $150 to $300 Australian dollars when graded MS65 or higher. But that's just the beginning. Some rare error coins from 1981, especially those with die breaks or doubling, have sold for over 2,500 Australian dollars, particularly when verified by trusted grading services. Globally, there is a surging wave of interest in Commonwealth-era coins, especially those featuring Queen Elizabeth II, as collectors seek to preserve her long reign in history. This international spotlight is driving up prices and creating strong export demand for coins like the 1981 50-cent piece. Coin shops and auction houses are reporting increased bidding from collectors in the UK, Canada, and Asia, where rare Australian coins are seen as undervalued gems. Even circulated coins with distinctive coloration or strike anomalies are catching the eyes of serious buyers who believe the market for Queen Elizabeth-era pieces is only just heating up. And let's not forget the storytelling power of this coin. It's not merely metal. It's history, grasped by thousands of hands, passed through countless shops, and now sitting perhaps in your drawer with the untold potential to change your financial future. Every scratch, every mark, and every nuance could hold a clue to its uniqueness. Is yours slightly off-center? Is the rim thicker than usual? Does it contain a mysterious die chip? These are not flaws. They are opportunities, potential million-dollar secrets hiding in plain sight. The 1981 Australian 50-cent coin, in all its circulated, worn glory, is much more than pocket change. It is a window into national identity, royal legacy, and perhaps, for a lucky few, a life-altering asset waiting to be recognized. Whether you're an amateur collector, a seasoned investor, or someone stumbling across a dusty coin jar, this humble piece might just be your golden ticket in silver disguise. It's not just about finding value. It's about unlocking a legacy. Next up, the 1980 Australian 50-cent coin, a remarkable piece of national pride that carries not only the distinct visual grandeur of Australia's heraldic legacy, but also the weight of increasing market demand. Now imagine your very fine condition coin, glowing with its original silver-toned brilliance, still holding the sharpness of detail across its iconic 12-sided shape. What may seem like a simple 50-cent piece today could, under the right conditions, become a millionaire's marvel, especially if it's part of the rare breed of error-struck or high-grade survivors. Let's dive straight into the aesthetic and historical majesty of its design. The reverse, masterfully crafted by the renowned Stuart Devlin, showcases the Commonwealth Coat of Arms of Australia, a design dripping with authority, complexity, and symbolism. You'll find a shield bearing the emblems of the 6 Australian states, flanked by 2 of the most symbolic animals in the country's cultural identity, the kangaroo and the emu, both incapable of walking backward, representing a nation always moving forward. Even in a very fine condition coin, this reverse image remains boldly detailed, with the feathers, claws, and shield lines distinct under the light, giving the coin a regal depth that collectors worldwide admire. The dodecagonal, 12-sided, shape itself adds uniqueness, making it stand out visually and physically from the usual round coins, instantly catching the eye of numismatists and investors alike. On the obverse, the coin proudly bears the elegant portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin, capturing the monarch in youthful grace, adorned in the Queen Mary tiara. This depiction was used from 1966 to 1984 and is an iconic symbol of the Queen's reign in Australia's history. The 1980 issue still uses this design, connecting it deeply with the era of pre-modern Commonwealth coinage. Over the decades, the coins have taken on unique toning in circulation, sometimes developing rich silvery patinas or darker hues around the reliefs, enhancing their visual texture and, to many collectors, boosting their desirability. From a technical standpoint, the 1980 Australian 50-cent coin retains its classic and commanding specifications. Composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, it weighs a hefty 15.55 grams, with a diameter of 31.65 millimeters and a thickness of approximately 2.50 millimeters. Its size and mass make it one of the most impressive coins in Australia's decimal system. Importantly, the coin does not contain silver, but its silvery appearance and historical associations often cause confusion with earlier pre-1966 silver coins. Still, its numismatic value is tied not to metal content, but to its condition, historical interest, and potential minting errors. Now, let's talk about mintage and scarcity. The 1980 50-cent coin had a substantial production run of over 48.4 million coins, making it widely distributed. However, finding a well-preserved, very fine or higher condition coin today is becoming increasingly challenging. The vast majority have been heavily worn, scratched, or damaged over decades of circulation. As a result, very fine examples, particularly those with sharp details and little to no loss of relief, are drawing attention from collectors wanting to complete year sets or acquire quality coins from the early 1980s. Where this coin truly becomes a potential jackpot, however, lies in mint-era varieties. Though not officially documented in large numbers, collectors have reported off-center strikes, double obverse, planchet cracks, and rim clips among 1980 specimens. These rare errors can command hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the severity and clarity of the flaw. A 1980 50-cent coin with a dramatic error and graded by agencies like PCGS or NGC could sell at specialist auctions for $500 to $2,500 AUD or more, especially with rising global demand for pre-modern Commonwealth coins featuring Queen Elizabeth II. For standard coins in very fine condition, market valuations range from $3 to $8 Australian dollars, while extremely fine and uncirculated coins may fetch $15 to $50 Australian dollars depending on clarity and tone. Proof versions, if sourced from collector sets, or high-graded coins can sell well above $100 AUD. But perhaps the greatest value lies in what's emerging today. International collectors and investors from Canada, the UK, and Southeast Asia are now driving up demand for Queen Elizabeth coins minted before the transition to King Charles. This shift has skyrocketed the collector's value of 20th-century decimal coins, especially those from the 1980s with distinctive engraving and limited high-grade survival. Another compelling factor in the 1980 coin's rise to fame is its role in legacy collections. This coin bridges generations. It's the kind of piece passed from grandparent to grandchild, loaded with stories and embedded in the fabric of everyday Australian life. Its association with milestones, from school lunch change to souvenir jars, gives it cultural power that transcends monetary value. And for modern collectors, especially those building Queen Elizabeth commemorative sets, this year is critical, a must-have for chronological consistency and historical completeness. In conclusion, your 1980 Australian 50-cent coin, especially in very fine condition, is not just a beautiful relic of the past. It is a gateway to wealth, a symbol of national identity, and an increasingly rare artifact from a time that will never come again. Whether it's tucked away in a drawer or already sitting in a coin sleeve, its potential is real. With market trends climbing and a global hunger for royal-era coins building fast, now may be the perfect time to get it evaluated professionally, list it with savvy timing, or simply preserve it as a growing asset. This isn't just coin collecting. This is history you can hold, and perhaps a future fortune waiting in your hands.